Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 155. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 7th of January 2015, beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Amazing Spider-Man number 12, Spider-Verse Part 4, The First Huge Battle. Wait, if the first fights were just skirmishes, this can't mean anything good for the spiders. Miles Morales shows his stuff, Silk finds something valuable on her run, meet the most surprising spider character yet. Marvel senior editor Nick Lowe mentioned this issue in particular when discussing the Inheritors. Quote, "At this point, we've met all the Inheritors. We're not going to be surprising you with more. It's a brutal family, and one of the things I love about issue 12 is the cover by Oliver Coipel and Justin Ponzer that is a family portrait of the Inheritors. I love it. It's so creepy." Close quote. He also commented on Superior Spider-Man's belief that Peter is from the past. Quote, "It's pretty key to who he is as a person. Doc, especially at this time in Superior Spider-Man, cannot conceive of his plan not working. It's a pretty big assumption, but it's also really grounded in the character. As for if it has a big role, people are just going to have to wait and see." Close quote. At number 2, we've got Spider-Man 2099 number 7, Spider-Verse tie-in, Weird Science with Spider People. Spider-Man of the year 2099 and Lady Spider of the steampunk 1800s team up to daringly dissect Deimos of the Inheritors. Series writer Peter David shared his favorite part of being part of this crossover. Quote, "What I love about it most is hearing Amazing Spider-Man writer Dan Slott talk about it. He's so enthusiastic and loves describing various bits of business that he comes up with for it. I'm just pleased to have the chance to be a part of it." Close quote. He also spoke about Miguel's role in the Spider team. Quote, "He's definitely a team player. He winds up having a close relationship with one of them in particular, Lady Spider. I think he finds her steampunk origins to be especially interesting. She has something of a scientific background just as he does, but it naturally has a very old-style feel to it, and that intrigues him." Close quote. At number 3, we've got Legendary Star-Lord number 7. Peter comes face to face with Mr. Knife, and you won't believe who's behind that snazzy mask. And all this craziness seems to have put a little strain on Peter and Kitty's relationship. You know what'll fix that right up? Space date. Or rather, space prison break. Peter Quill, what a catch. Series writer Sam Humphries explained Mr. Knife's role building towards the Black Vortex crossover in February. Quote, "Rest assured that Mr. Knife does have a plan for the Black Vortex, and it's not just to take it for himself to become a badass cosmic being. Mr. Knife thinks very big, and he has a past that informs how big he thinks. The Black Vortex can show any individual its cosmic potential, but some people just see themselves in it. Mr. Knife sees something much bigger. He sees it as a key to something bigger and larger for himself. He's not enamored with what the Black Vortex can show him. He's enamored with what it can do for him." Close quote. At number 4, we've got Ant-Man number 1. Scott Lang has never exactly been the world's best superhero. Heck, most people don't even think he's been the best Ant-Man. And the last guy invented Ultron and joined the Masters of Evil, so that's saying something. But when the superior Iron Man calls with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Scott's gonna get a chance to turn it all around and be the hero he's always dreamed of being. Sure, he's been to prison. Sure, he's been through a messy divorce. Sure, he's been, well, dead. But this time it's different. This time, nothing is going to stop the astonishing Ant-Man. Series writer Nick Spencer described the tone of the book. Quote, "The darkness around Scott's life is starting to lift. Cassie Lang is going to be coming back. She's going to be back, and if you want some details on that story, you can find them in Avengers World number 16. Scott is going to get a new shot at being a dad. It's very much about a new lease on life for him." Close quote. He later added, quote, "It's a hero's journey, but with stuff that can make you laugh along the way, hopefully." Close quote. He also said, quote, "He wants to be a hero, if only to inspire his daughter and be a good dad. He wants to do the right thing, but he's not always entirely sure of what that is." Close quote. And at number 5, we've got All New X-Factor number 19. It was supposed to be a straightforward mission for the team. Go into a foreign country at war with its neighbor, discover the tunnels that the enemy had created, and get rid of them. Unfortunately, things have gone extremely wrong, and now a vengeful Egyptian goddess has been set free, and the first people she's targeting are X-Factor. Series writer Peter David announced that the series has been canceled as of issue 20, quote, "because not enough people are buying it," which is exactly the reason they canceled Gambit as well, so it'll probably be a long time before he gets to star in another book, close quote. He went on to say, quote, "All I did was write a book that got tons of positive write-ups, which I guess is enough to encourage people to buy it when it comes out in trades, oblivious to the fact that books get canceled when you do that," close quote. In another interview, he also said, quote, "I don't think there's a place for character-driven stories. Fans complain ceaselessly about how mega events are taking over comics and what they really want to see are character-driven stories, but their purchasing habits are exactly opposite. And now fans will say, oh, Peter's just bitching again, but I'm really just stating facts based on sales. That doesn't mean I won't continue to write the types of stories I want to write, but the continued resistance to them makes selling them problematic." Close quote. And when asked if he would have done anything differently, he replied, quote, "I would have had Wolverine guest star every other issue. Our sales would be through the roof." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10, at number 6, we've got X-Men number 23, The Burning World Part 1, the start of a brand new story penned by Ms. Marvel creator G. Willow Wilson. When a sinkhole appears under mysterious circumstances in the middle of the Black Rock Desert, the X-Men go to investigate. But little did they suspect that the phenomenon has connections to old allies and enemies. At number 7, we've got Iron Fist, The Living Weapon number 8, The Wolves Are at the Door. Danny Rand's climb to redemption brings him to the one person he is most unprepared to face. Are Danny's recuperating fists able to save him from the demons of his past? Brenda and Detective Lee get closer to the sinister truth behind the revamped Rand Tower. At number 8, we've got Men of Wrath by Jason Aaron, number 4 of 5. Jason Aaron and Ron Garney pull no punches in this darkly magnetic read. IGN. This is one messed up comic book that I took sheer delight in reading. Comics Beat. These are talented creators telling a gut-punching tale. Comicosity. The last living men of Wrath face off as Ruben comes gunning for Ira to protect the life of his unborn child. With father and son standing poised to kill each other, will the Wrath curse come full circle? At number 9, we've got Detective Comics number 38. The people of Gotham City have spoken, and now anarchy runs wild in the streets. And at number 10, we've got Miracleman number 14. Miracleman and Miracle Woman return to Earth as Olympus Pantheon grows. Weeks old, baby Winter decides it's time that she and her father discuss her future. The fire drake that brought Miracleman's makers to Earth is discovered. With his family gone, Michael Moran faces a somber decision. Johnny Bates utters 4 short syllables that will shatter the world, including material originally presented in Miracleman number 14, plus bonus content. For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got Action Comics number 38. The horror of Smallville has been unleashed on the world. Superman must stop the evil undead threat of the Ultra-Humanite from crushing humanity. Next, we have Batman Eternal number 40. It's three-way battle for survival between Batman, the Riddler, and Mother Nature. We've also got Legends of the Dark Knight 100-page super spectacular number 5. In Hell's Bells, Batman's latest altercation with the Gotham City Police Department force him to improvise when they converge on a suspect and the police try to take him out instead, plus 2 other stories featuring the Dark Knight detective. And we've got The Names number 5 of 9, now a 9-issue miniseries. Flaherty's brain has been destroyed by the surgeon's scalpel, and Philip's brain is just as blitzed by the sight of Katya's naked body as the psychopath called the surgeon closes in. Sex, violence, enigmatic dark loops, dark hearts, and a devastating twist turn everything on its head in this issue. From Marvel Comics, we've got Angela, Asgard's Assassin number 2. What on earth has made runaway Angela return to grimy old Earth? Is it fighting? It's probably fighting. It's usually fighting. You know what she's like. Spoiler, it's not fighting. More spoilers, it does involve fighting, but she honestly wasn't planning it. No, really, honest. Next we have Avengers, No More Bullying number 1. Earth's mightiest heroes make bullying a thing of the past. The Avengers have always stood up for those who cannot stand up for themselves, but this time they're in for a bombastic adventure of the highest order, featuring surprise guest stars from across the Marvel Universe, including Spider-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Base front readers, you won't want to miss this one. We've also got Death of Wolverine, the Weapon X program number 5 of 5. After Sharp and his fellow Weapon X teammates uncover startling new secrets regarding the organization that created them, additional experiments on the program make an unexpected entrance. It all leads to the debut of this month's all-new Marvel Weekly comic, Wolverines. Next, we have Operation Sin number 1 of 5. Tying into the explosive events of Original Sin, see an untold story from the origins of the Marvel Universe. After an alien energy source is discovered in Russia in the early 1950s, it's up to Peggy Carter and Howard Stark to find out what happened. But a newly risen terrorist group going by the name Hydra also happens to be on the hunt for their own nefarious purposes. It's only when a mysterious operative going by the name of Woodrow McCord enters the picture to aid Peggy and Howard that they realize just how far some people are willing to go to keep the Earth safe. Megawatt writer Catherine Eminem is joined by rising star artist Rich Ellis to tell an all-new tale featuring Agent Carter. We've also got Storm number 7. Over the course of her recent adventures, Storm has made some powerful enemies, and now they've pulled some strings and had her branded public enemy number 1. Can Storm evade the authorities long enough to find out who's gunning for her and clear her name? Next, we have Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 1, Wolverine, Deadpool, Doctor Doom, Thanos. There's one hero that's beaten them all, and now she's got her own ongoing series. Not that she's bragging. That's right, you asked for it, you got it. It's Squirrel Girl. She's also starting college this semester. It's the start of a brand new series of adventures starring the nuttiest and most upbeat superhero in the world. And we've got Wolverines number 1, from the pages of Death of Wolverine, the Logan Legacy, and the Weapon X program. Wolverine may be dead, but what will happen to his mortal remains encased in something as rare and powerful as adamantium? The battle for control of this valuable artifact has begun, but why does it matter so much, and why is a war brewing in Logan's name? Death is on the books for a dozen heroes and villains, and Mystique is playing chess with them all, including X-23, Sabretooth, the Ken, Lady Deathstrike, and more. Murder, mutilation, betrayal, and trauma, none will be spared. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got John Carter, Warlord of Mars number 3. Alien invaders have conquered John Carter's adopted world of Barsoom. John Carter endeavors to reach the occupied city of Helium, where his beloved Dejah Thoris is held captive by the invaders. But Dejah Thoris is no princess in peril, as she hatches a plot to escape from her captors and lead her people in bloody rebellion. Classic planetary adventure and tradition of Grandmaster Edgar Rice Burroughs. And we've got Magnus Robot Fighter number 10. In this chapter entitled Lair of the Basilisk, Leia has discovered a horrible truth that rocks her to her core, and it's all Magnus' fault. But that'll have to wait because 1A has a new mission for his son Magnus, free the Basilisk, a horrendous monstrosity capable of destroying the world. From Image Comics, we've got the Fade Out number 4, Sex and Violence in the Golden Age of Hollywood. Charlie's flashbacks to the war affect his work and his secret mission to solve a covered-up murder. And remember, like all Brubaker Phillips comics, the back pages of the Fade Out are filled with extra art and articles you can only find in the single issues. And we've got Tech Jacket number 7. Tech Jacket's first victory is overshadowed by the fact that the Earth is completely and utterly screwed, while a strange visitor appears to make his personal life go bananas. Out in trades, we've got Tech Jacket Volume 3 trade paperback. Zach Thompson, community college dropout, lives with his parents. This is who protects us from what lies beyond our world. But he's also Tech Jacket, the self-styled galactic guardian of Earth. And when a big-ass spaceship enters Earth's orbit, Zach will face the greatest challenge of his life. Collects Tech Jacket 1 through 6. And we've got Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 Edge of Spider-Verse Prelude trade paperback. Step over the edge of Spider-Verse. In the year 2099, the superior Spider-Man lives on, but how? Otto takes the fight to Karn, the man working his way through the multiverse, leaving a trail of dead spiders in his wake, but finds himself hopelessly overpowered. Will the time-lost superior Spidey find enough allies to make a dent in Karn's plans? Meanwhile, the real Spider-Man teams up with the all-new Ms. Marvel on a high-flying, high-stepping in Kamala's case, adventure. Can Ms. Marvel get Spidey out of a jam? Plus, MC2 Spider-Girl and the Spider-Man of 1602 find themselves under attack from the mysterious forces behind Spider-Verse. And who is Spider-UK? The road to Spider-Verse starts here, collecting Amazing Spider-Man number 7 and 8, Superior Spider-Man 32 and 33, and material from Free Comic Book Day 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both the He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.